Before you scroll past, pause for a breath. Notice how your shoulders are holding, how your jaw is set, how your mind is already racing ahead. Peace isn't something you chase later when life calms down. It begins in moments exactly like this, when you choose to stop and listen inward. You may think inner peace requires fixing everything first, solving the problem, healing the wound, getting control. But peace doesn't wait for perfection. It waits for permission. It waits for you to stop arguing with the moment you're in and soften, even slightly. Most people don't realize how loud their inner world has become. A constant commentary of worry, self-correction, and pressure. You call it thinking, but your body experiences it as tension. And tension, repeated long enough, convinces you that unrest is normal. Affirmations aren't meant to fight your thoughts. They're meant to soothe your nervous system, to gently introduce a new truth where fear has been rehearsing the same old story. When spoken with presence, they don't force change, they invite it. You might notice resistance when you hear peaceful words, a voice that says, "This won't work," or "not for me." That voice isn't the enemy. It's tired, it's been on guard for a long time, and even that part of you deserves kindness. Inner peace doesn't mean nothing ever bothers you. It means you stop abandoning yourself when something does. It means learning to meet discomfort with compassion instead of judgment. That's where peace takes root, not in silence, but in acceptance. As you listen, let the words land without effort. You don't need to believe them fully. You only need to allow them to exist alongside the noise. The subconscious listens best when it feels safe, not when it's being corrected. In a moment, you'll hear affirmations that don't demand anything from you. They simply remind you of what's already true beneath the tension. Stay with me. Because peace doesn't arrive from the outside, it begins the instant you choose yourself. I want to begin by inviting you to stay right where you are for a moment longer. There is nothing you need to fix before peace can arrive. There is nothing you need to resolve, explain, or complete. Peace does not wait for your life to become simpler. It waits for you to become kinder with yourself. Many people believe that inner peace is something they earn after everything settles down, after the work is finished, after the problem is solved, after the worry disappears. But peace does not come at the end of effort. Peace comes at the end of resistance. So often we are resisting the moment we are in. We tell ourselves it should feel different. We tell ourselves we should be calmer, more patient, more composed. And this constant correction creates tension that the body experiences as unrest. I want you to understand that peace does not require silence in your mind. Thoughts may still move. Feelings may still arise. Peace is not the absence of activity. It is the absence of self-attack. When you stop arguing with yourself, even briefly, something softens. The breath deepens. The shoulders release. The body recognizes that it is no longer being pushed. Many people do not realize how loud their inner world has become. The mind narrates constantly what should be done next, what went wrong before, what might happen later. This inner commentary feels normal because it has been repeated for so long, but repetition creates familiarity, not truth. The body does not experience this commentary as helpful thinking. The body experiences it as pressure. And pressure, when carried day after day, convinces you that tension is simply part of being alive. It does not have to be. Peace begins when you notice that you have been holding yourself very tightly. And noticing does not require judgment. It only requires honesty. You may begin to realize that you are often bracing for something, an interruption, a disappointment, a demand. This bracing may feel subtle, but the body knows it well. It keeps muscles tense. It keeps breathing shallow. It keeps the heart alert. Peace asks a simple question. Is this moment actually unsafe? Most of the time, the answer is no, but the body has learned to stay prepared anyway. Affirmations are not meant to argue with this preparation. They are meant to soothe it. They are meant to speak to the body in a language it understands: gentleness, reassurance, repetition. When affirmations are used to fight thoughts, they create more tension. When they are used to offer comfort, they create space. I want you to let go of the idea that affirmations must be believed to work. Belief is not required. Willingness is enough. Willingness to listen. Willingness to let the words exist without pushing them away. The subconscious does not respond well to force. It responds to tone. It responds to safety. It responds to repetition offered without demand. You may notice resistance when peaceful words are spoken. A voice inside may say, "This won't work," or "This isn't realistic," or "Not now." That voice is not an enemy. It is tired. It has been on guard for a very long time. Even that part of you deserves kindness. Peace does not arrive by silencing resistance. Peace arrives when resistance no longer needs to shout to be heard. I want you to begin seeing peace as a relationship rather than a state, a relationship with your inner world, a way of responding to yourself when discomfort appears. You do not lose peace because you feel upset. You lose peace when you abandon yourself for feeling upset, when you stay with yourself without judgment. Without urgency, peace remains present even in the midst of emotion. This is an important understanding. You may have learned that peace means calmness at all times, but true peace includes feeling. It includes sadness, uncertainty, and even fear held within a wider sense of safety. Peace is not fragile. It does not shatter when life moves. Peace is strengthened by self-approval. I often speak about self-approval because it is the foundation upon which peace rests. When you approve of yourself, you stop fighting your inner experience. You stop demanding that you be different before you are allowed to feel okay. Self-approval says, "I am allowed to be here exactly as I am." That sentence alone can calm the body. You may notice that as you allow this idea, the jaw relaxes slightly. The breath becomes easier. These small shifts matter. They are the beginning of peace becoming physical rather than conceptual. Peace is not something you think your way into. It is something you allow your body to experience. This is why affirmations must be spoken gently. Quickly spoken words pass over the nervous system. Slowly spoken words settle into it. You are not here to convince yourself of anything. You are here to offer yourself a new tone of inner communication, a tone that says, "You are safe enough to rest for a moment. Even a moment is enough to begin." I want you to release the belief that you must quiet your mind before peace can enter. Minds think. That is what they do. Peace does not require the mind to stop. Peace requires the mind to stop attacking. When the inner voice becomes kinder, thoughts lose their sharpness. They still appear, but they no longer wound. This is how peace becomes sustainable. Many people try to reach peace by controlling their thoughts. Control creates tension. Allowance creates peace. Allowance does not mean agreement with every thought. It means you stop wrestling with them. Affirmations gently introduce new truths alongside old ones. They do not erase fear. They soften it. They sit beside it and say, "You are not alone." I want you to know that peace does not arrive suddenly. It grows through familiarity, through repetition, through small moments of choosing softness over correction. Each time you speak a kind word to yourself, even if it feels awkward, you are teaching your system a new way of being. Peace is learned. Unrest was learned too, and what was learned can be gently unlearned. You are not broken because peace has felt distant. You have simply practiced tension longer than relaxation, and practice creates habit. We are not here to shame habit. We are here to offer alternatives. I want you to begin trusting that your inner world responds to kindness just as a frightened child does. Harshness increases fear. Gentleness invites calm. When you speak affirmations with presence, you are not correcting yourself, you are comforting yourself. Comfort creates safety. Safety allows peace. This is the order. As we move forward, I want you to stop checking whether you are doing this right. There is no right way to soften. There is only willingness. You may feel nothing at first. That is all right. Peace does not rush. It waits patiently for trust. You may feel emotional. That is also all right. Emotions often rise when tension begins to release. There is no wrong response here. Peace is not asking you to perform. It is asking you to stay. Stay with yourself. Stay with your breath. Stay with this moment. This staying is the beginning of inner peace. You have already taken the most important step, not by changing anything, but by listening. And listening, when done with kindness, always leads you home to yourself. Now that we have created a little space inside, I want to speak about permission. So many people believe peace must be earned, that they must first calm down, fix something, or become better in some way before they are allowed to feel at ease. And yet peace begins the moment you give yourself permission to stop striving. I want you to know that you are allowed to relax right now, not because everything is finished, but because you are here. Your worth has never depended on effort. It has never depended on productivity. It has always been present, even when you forgot. The body does not relax because circumstances improve. The body relaxes because it feels reassured. Reassurance is a language the body understands very well. Affirmations offer reassurance when spoken gently. They do not argue with fear. They sit beside it and say, "You are safe enough to rest for a moment," and the body listens. I want to begin with affirmations that do not ask you to change anything. They do not ask you to be peaceful. They simply allow peace to be possible. You might gently say to yourself, "In this moment, I am safe. Not forever, not perfectly, just now." Notice how your body responds to these words. You may feel a softening, or you may feel resistance. Either response is welcome. The body is simply noticing something new. Safety does not need proof. Safety is a feeling that grows through repetition. So often we have repeated worry until it feels natural. We have repeated self-correction until tension feels normal. Affirmations offer a different repetition, one that soothes instead of strains. You might also say, "I allow myself to be at ease," not because everything is resolved, but because forcing tension has not helped. Allowance is not giving up, it is giving permission. I want you to understand that affirmations are not commands, they are invitations. When you invite ease, the body decides how much it is ready to accept. You are not pushing, you are offering. You may notice that ease arrives in small ways at first. A longer breath, a quieter jaw, a slight release in the shoulders. These small changes are meaningful. They are signs that the body is listening. The mind may still chatter. That is all right. Peace does not require silence. Peace requires kindness toward noise. Another gentle affirmation you may offer is, "I choose to be gentle with myself." This is a powerful choice. Gentleness tells the body it does not have to brace. So many people have learned to motivate themselves through pressure. They believe kindness will make them weak. But pressure exhausts the body, while kindness restores it. Restoration is where peace grows. You might notice that when you speak kindly, the inner voice begins to change tone. It becomes less sharp, less urgent, less demanding. This is not imagination. This is retraining. The subconscious listens to how you speak to yourself. It believes the tone more than the words. If the words feel unfamiliar, that is all right. New patterns always feel unfamiliar at first. Familiarity comes through repetition, not force. Another affirmation you may gently introduce is, "I am willing to slow down." Slowing down is not stopping life. It is stopping resistance. When you slow down inwardly, you give yourself time to feel, and feeling does not overwhelm when it is met with patience. You are not here to rush peace into existence. You are here to let it unfold naturally. I want you to notice that these affirmations do not deny what you are experiencing. They do not say everything is perfect. They simply offer an alternative to tension. Peace does not come from pretending. Peace comes from permission. You may also say, I allow this moment to be as it is. This affirmation is very soothing. It tells the body that it does not have to fight the present. Fighting the present is exhausting. Acceptance restores energy. Acceptance does not mean agreement. It means you stop using force against yourself. As you repeat these affirmations, you may notice resistance soften over time, not because you defeated it, but because it no longer needs to defend. Resistance often exists because something inside you believes it must stay alert. When alertness is no longer required, resistance rests. Affirmations create a sense of inner companionship. Instead of correcting yourself, you sit with yourself. This companionship is deeply healing. You are not alone inside anymore. You might gently say, I am learning to trust this moment. Trust does not arrive fully formed. It grows through gentle practice. Each time you speak words of reassurance, you strengthen trust. Trust between your mind and your body. Trust between your heart and life. I want you to know that it is all right if you forget to say these affirmations sometimes. Peace does not punish forgetfulness. It welcomes remembrance. When you remember, return gently. There is no need for correction. You are not training yourself like a machine. You are nurturing yourself like a garden. Gardens grow through consistency, patience, and care. Affirmations do not rush growth. They create conditions where growth feels safe. As you continue offering these words to yourself, you may find that your reactions begin to change. You pause more often. You breathe more fully. You respond with less urgency. These changes do not require effort. They arise naturally when the body feels supported. Peace is not something you achieve. It is something you stop blocking. I want you to trust that each kind word you speak inwardly matters, even if you do not feel immediate results. The subconscious listens over time. You are teaching yourself a new way of being, a way that includes rest, a way that includes softness, a way that includes compassion. These are not luxuries. They are necessities for peace. As we move forward, remember that affirmations are not about convincing. They are about comforting. Comfort creates safety. Safety allows peace. You are already doing this beautifully by being here. Now that we have begun to allow ease, I want to speak about fear not as something to overcome, but as something to understand. Fear is often misunderstood. It is not your enemy. It is not proof that something is wrong with you. Fear is a part of you that learned to stay alert because it believed alertness would keep you safe. The heart carries fear differently than the mind. The mind worries in words. The heart tightens in feeling. You may notice it as a heaviness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, or a quiet sense of unease that has no clear story attached to it. This does not mean danger is present. It means care is needed. Many people try to silence fear by arguing with it. They tell themselves they should not feel afraid. They try to replace fearful thoughts with positive ones. But fear does not relax when it is contradicted. Fear relaxes when it is reassured. This is where affirmations become powerful, not as statements of force, but as gentle reminders that the present moment can be met with kindness. You might begin with a simple affirmation, I am safe in this moment. Say it slowly. Let the words touch your body, not just your mind. Safety does not arrive all at once. It arrives in layers through repetition and tone. Fear often lives in the future. It imagines what might go wrong, what could be lost, what pain might return. When you bring your attention back to this moment, fear has less to hold on to. You are here now. You are breathing. You are listening. In this moment, you are not being asked to survive anything. That matters. Another gentle affirmation you may offer is, I choose to trust life a little more. Trust does not mean certainty. Trust means you are willing to stop expecting harm in every unknown. Even a small amount of trust begins to loosen fear's grip. Fear has often been rehearsed for many years. It became familiar through repetition. Affirmations introduce a new rehearsal, one that teaches the heart a different expectation. You are not erasing fear. You are giving it company. You might also say, I'm willing to be at peace with my feelings. This affirmation is very important. It tells the heart that it does not need to hide discomfort in order to be accepted. When feelings are allowed, they soften. Fear tightens when it believes it must be eliminated. It relaxes when it knows it can exist without being judged. I want you to notice how different this approach feels. You are not fixing yourself. You are meeting yourself. Meeting yourself is where peace begins. You may notice that fear lessens when you stop abandoning yourself in moments of discomfort. So often, fear grows louder because it believes it must shout to be heard. When you listen kindly, it quiets naturally. Another affirmation you may gently introduce is, I am learning to respond with love instead of fear. This is not a demand, it is a process. Learning happens through patience. Each time you choose a loving thought, even briefly, you interrupt an old pattern. The interruption does not need to be dramatic. It only needs to be consistent. Fear often tells stories about control. It says that if you relax, something bad will happen. But peace does not come from control. Peace comes from trust. You may also say, I trust that I can handle what comes. This affirmation reassures the heart that it is not helpless. You are not fragile. You have lived through many moments that once felt overwhelming. You are still here. Remembering your own resilience calms fear. I want you to understand that fear is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is a sign you are becoming more aware. Awareness can feel unsettling at first because it removes distraction. But awareness also brings choice. You now have a choice in how you respond to fear. You can meet it with harshness, or you can meet it with compassion. Compassion always leads to peace. You might notice that as you repeat these affirmations, fear no longer feels like an emergency. It becomes a sensation that passes through rather than something that controls you. This is a great shift. Fear does not disappear overnight. It loses authority gradually as trust grows. You are not required to feel fearless. You are allowed to feel supported. Support is what fear has been asking for all along. Another affirmation you may offer yourself is, I am supported by life. This affirmation reminds the heart that it is not alone, that life is not something you must battle, that support can arrive in ways you may not yet see. When you expect support, your body relaxes. Expectation shapes experience. I want you to trust that these words are doing something even if you cannot feel it yet. The subconscious listens quietly. It responds over time. You are creating a new inner environment, one where fear is met with reassurance instead of resistance. Peace grows in this environment naturally. You may still feel moments of fear in the days ahead. That does not mean peace has left you. It means you are practicing a new response. Each time you choose kindness instead of criticism, you strengthen peace. You are not trying to eliminate fear. You are learning how to coexist with it lovingly until it no longer needs to dominate. This is true healing. As we continue, remember that affirmations are not about perfection. They are about presence. You only need to be willing to say the words, not to believe them fully. Belief grows through repetition. Repetition grows through kindness, and kindness is the heart of peace. Now I want to speak about self-approval, because peace cannot settle in a place where the self is constantly being judged. Many people believe they are helping themselves by being critical, by correcting every thought, every feeling, every response. But the body does not experience criticism as guidance. It experiences it as rejection. When you reject yourself, even quietly, peace has nowhere to land. Most of us learned very early that approval came from outside. We learned to behave, to perform, to manage ourselves carefully in order to be accepted. Over time, that outer voice became an inner one. And that inner voice often speaks harshly, believing it must keep you in line. But peace does not grow under pressure. It grows under acceptance. I want you to notice how often you evaluate yourself, how often you decide whether you are doing enough, being enough, healing correctly, responding properly. This constant self-monitoring creates tension that the body holds as unease. You are not meant to live under constant review. Self-approval is the decision to stop treating yourself as something that needs to be fixed before it can be loved. It is the willingness to say, I am allowed to be here as I am. This permission changes everything. You may gently offer yourself this affirmation, I approve of myself. Say it slowly. Let it feel unfamiliar if it does. New kindness often does. The body listens not to familiarity, but to sincerity. Self-approval does not mean you stop growing. It means you stop growing through punishment. Growth through punishment is exhausting. Growth through love is sustainable. Many people believe that if they approve of themselves, they will become careless or complacent. But the opposite is true. When you feel accepted, you naturally care for yourself more deeply. Approval invites responsibility without fear. You may also say, I'm willing to be kind to myself. Willingness is powerful. It does not demand perfection. It opens a door. You may not yet know how to be kind to yourself. That is all right. Willingness is enough to begin. The heart responds immediately to kindness. It softens. It opens. It trusts a little more. Trust is what peace needs in order to stay. So many people believe they must earn trust by proving themselves, by being consistent, by getting things right. But trust grows when you stop turning against yourself in moments of discomfort. Each time you choose compassion instead of criticism, you strengthen trust. You might also say, I trust myself to learn and grow. This affirmation removes pressure. It tells the body that mistakes are not dangerous, that learning is allowed, that you do not need to be perfect to be safe. Perfection is not peaceful. Presence is. When you trust yourself, you stop needing to control every outcome. You stop bracing for failure. You allow life to meet you where you are. Trust does not mean you always know what to do. It means you believe you will respond with care when you don't. This is a deep form of peace. Many people abandon themselves when they feel uncertain. They criticize themselves for not knowing, for hesitating, for feeling conflicted. And this abandonment is what creates inner unrest. Peace returns when you stay. You may offer yourself this affirmation, I stay with myself in all experiences. This is a powerful statement of loyalty. It tells the heart that it will not be left alone when things feel difficult. Loyalty to yourself creates stability, and stability allows peace to deepen. Self-approval also means releasing the habit of comparison. When you compare yourself to others, you leave your own experience. You judge your pace, your feelings, your progress, and peace slips away. You do not heal by comparing. You heal by listening. You might gently say, I honor my own timing. This affirmation removes urgency. It allows the nervous system to settle. It tells the body that there is no race to finish. Healing unfolds when it is not being rushed. As you continue offering these affirmations, you may notice that your inner voice begins to change. It becomes less sharp, less demanding, more supportive. This is not something you force. It happens naturally when kindness is practiced consistently. The voice inside you becomes a friend instead of a critic, and peace thrives in friendship. I want you to understand that self-approval does not require you to agree with everything you have done. It simply means you stop punishing yourself for being human. Punishment does not heal. Acceptance does. You may notice moments where the old critical voice returns. This does not mean you have failed. It means the habit is familiar. Greet it kindly and return to your affirmations. There is no need to argue with the voice. Offer reassurance instead. Another affirmation you may gently repeat is, "I deserve peace." This can feel uncomfortable at first. Many people believe peace must be earned, that they must work harder, suffer longer, or improve more before they are allowed to rest. But peace is not a reward. It is a natural state that returns when resistance ends. You deserve peace because you exist. As you allow this idea to settle, you may feel emotion arise. This is natural. Being kind to yourself can uncover grief for how hard you have been on yourself. Let that tenderness be part of healing. Tenderness is not weakness. It is openness. You are not required to become confident overnight. Confidence grows from trust, and trust grows from consistency. Each kind word you speak to yourself builds a foundation. Peace rests on that foundation. As we move toward the next part, remember this: affirmations work because they change the relationship you have with yourself. They create an inner environment where peace feels welcome. You are not convincing yourself of anything false. You are reminding yourself of what has always been true beneath habit and fear. You are worthy of kindness. You are worthy of trust. You are worthy of peace. And peace is beginning to recognize you. Now, I want to speak about what happens when peace is no longer something you are trying to create. There comes a moment, quiet and unannounced, when you realize that you are not reaching for peace anymore. You are simply returning to it. And this return feels very different from effort. Peace begins as a practice, but it does not remain one. Over time, it becomes familiar. It becomes the place you rest between thoughts, the space you return to after reaction, the gentle pause before you speak or move. You may not notice the moment this happens, but you will feel its effects. You may find that your responses begin to soften. Situations that once tightened your body no longer grip you in the same way, not because they disappeared, but because you no longer abandon yourself when they arise. Peace stays when you stay. Inner peace does not remove challenges from life. It changes how you meet them. Instead of bracing, you breathe. Instead of rushing to fix, you pause. Instead of judging yourself for feeling unsettled, you offer reassurance. This is not something you force. It happens naturally when kindness has been practiced long enough to feel safe. You may notice that you stop correcting yourself so quickly. Thoughts arise, but they do not demand immediate response. Feelings pass through without being turned into problems. This spaciousness is peace living inside you. Peace does not mean you never feel discomfort. It means discomfort no longer feels threatening. It becomes information rather than danger, and information can be met with curiosity instead of fear. I want you to understand that peace is not fragile. It does not shatter when emotions appear. It does not leave because a difficult day arrives. Peace deepens when you stop expecting yourself to be calm at all times. You are allowed to be human and peaceful at the same time. As peace becomes more natural, you may find that affirmations change their role. They no longer feel like something you must remember to do. They become a tone, a way of speaking to yourself without effort. You may catch yourself saying kind words inwardly without planning to. You may reassure yourself automatically. This is not coincidence. This is integration. Integration means the practice has become part of who you are. You may also notice that you feel less urgency to control outcomes. When peace is present, trust grows. And when trust grows, the need to manage everything fades. You begin to allow life to move without gripping it. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you care without tension. Caring without tension feels lighter. It allows you to be involved without being consumed. Peace creates room for joy to appear quietly, not excitement or thrill, but contentment. Moments where you notice beauty without effort. Moments where you feel at home inside yourself. These moments are not accidents. They are signs that peace has taken root. I want you to trust that peace does not require constant attention to remain. Once it has been welcomed, it knows how to stay. It will come and go in intensity, but it does not disappear. When unrest returns, peace does not scold you, it waits. You may still have days when old habits return, days when you rush or judge or worry. These days do not undo your healing. They simply remind you to return. Returning is gentle. Returning is familiar. Returning does not require effort. You may notice that peace now feels like a choice you can make in small ways, choosing to breathe before responding, choosing to rest without guilt, choosing to speak kindly inwardly when tension appears. These choices do not feel like work. They feel natural. Peace does not isolate you from life. It connects you to it. When you are peaceful inside, you listen more deeply. You respond more honestly. You become present. Presence is the natural expression of peace. I want you to trust that you do not need to protect your peace aggressively. Peace does not need guarding. It thrives on openness, not defense. You do not need to withdraw from the world to be peaceful. Peace travels with you when you treat yourself with respect. As you live from this place, you may notice that your relationship shifts subtly. You listen without planning your response. You speak without forcing your point. You allow silence without discomfort. Peace allows space between people as well as within you. You may also find that you recover more quickly from upset, not because you suppress it, but because you do not add self-judgment to the experience. Without judgment, emotions move through more freely. This is emotional freedom. You are not required to maintain peace perfectly. Peace does not ask for perfection. It asks for honesty. Honesty allows you to notice when you are tired, overwhelmed, or uncertain, and to respond with care instead of criticism. Care is what keeps peace alive. I want you to know that living peacefully does not mean becoming passive. It means becoming responsive instead of reactive. Responsive living feels grounded. It feels deliberate without strain. You may find that decisions feel clearer now, not because answers arrive immediately, but because you are listening inwardly without panic. Peace creates clarity by removing noise. You may also notice that gratitude arises more easily. Gratitude not as obligation, but as recognition. Recognition that life feels kinder when you are kind to yourself. Gratitude is a natural companion to peace. As this journey settles, I want you to stop looking for signs that you have reached a destination. Peace is not a destination. It is a relationship, one you return to again and again. Each return strengthens trust. Each return deepens ease. Each return reminds you that peace lives within you. You have not created something new. You have remembered something familiar. Peace was never absent. It was simply covered by habit, tension, and self-judgment. As those layers soften, peace reveals itself naturally. You are allowed to live this way. You are allowed to feel this way. You are allowed to rest in yourself. There is nothing more you need to do. Peace does not require maintenance. It requires permission. And you have already given that. Life loves you, and now you are learning to live from that knowing. Let us remain here together for a little while. There is nothing more you need to understand right now. Nothing more you need to practice. Nothing more you need to become. This moment is complete just as it is, and you are complete within it. You may notice that something inside you feels quieter now, not silent, but less crowded, less demanding, This is not because all tension has disappeared, but because you are no longer arguing with yourself. And when the argument ends, peace naturally takes its place. I want you to know that peace is not something fragile you might lose when life becomes busy again. Peace is a way of relating to yourself, and that relationship has already begun to change. You may forget some of the words you heard today. That is all right. The understanding has already moved deeper than memory. It has settled into your body, into your breath, into the way you pause now instead of pushing yourself forward. You do not need to carry peace with you. Peace will carry you. As you return to your life, you may notice moments where you feel the old tension rise again. This does not mean peace has left you. It means life is inviting you to return inwardly, just as you did here. Returning is always available. You are never late to peace. You are never too far from it. You are never required to earn it again. Peace does not withdraw when you struggle. It waits patiently, without judgment, until you are ready to notice it once more. I want you to release the belief that inner peace must look a certain way. Peace may arrive as calm, or as steadiness, or as acceptance of what you feel without needing to change it. Peace often feels like relief more than happiness. Relief is enough. You are allowed to live without constant self-correction. You are allowed to feel good without justification. You are allowed to rest without explaining yourself. These permissions are not small. They are the soil in which peace grows. You may begin to notice that your inner voice sounds different now, softer, more patient, less demanding. This voice is not something you created. It emerged when you stopped being harsh with yourself. Kindness has a way of revealing what was already there. I want you to trust that peace does not require vigilance. You do not need to watch yourself closely or manage every thought. Peace deepens when you relax your attention, not when you tighten it. Life does not ask you to be calm all the time. Life asks you to be present. Presence includes breath, feeling, and honesty. And honesty is deeply peaceful. You may still feel sadness at times. Sadness does not disturb peace when it is allowed. You may still feel fear at times. Fear does not overpower peace when it is met with reassurance. Peace is not the absence of feeling. It is the absence of self-abandonment. You no longer need to leave yourself when something feels uncomfortable. You can stay, and staying is the most loving thing you can do. I want you to remember that peace is strengthened by repetition, not perfection. Each time you speak kindly to yourself, each time you pause instead of rush, each time you allow yourself to be as you are, peace recognizes itself again. This recognition is gentle. It does not announce itself. It simply feels like coming home. You are allowed to take this feeling with you into ordinary moments. Washing your hands, sitting quietly, waiting. These moments are not empty. They are opportunities for peace to live. You do not need to change your life to be peaceful. Peace changes how you live your life. As you move forward, trust that you will remember what you need when you need it. You do not have to hold on to anything consciously. Peace knows how to return, and when you forget because you will at times, that forgetting does not undo anything. Forgetting is part of being human. Remembering is part of healing. You can always begin again. You can always soften again. You can always choose yourself again. I want you to take one gentle breath now, not to do anything with it, just to feel it move through you. Feel how your body knows how to receive without effort. This is how peace works. It is received, not achieved. You are safe to live from this place. You are safe to feel from this place. You are safe to rest from this place. Life loves you, and you are learning, moment by moment, to let that love settle inside you. Let us be still together now, without expectation. You have listened deeply, and something within you has already responded. There is no need to search for evidence. Peace does not prove itself. It reveals itself through ease. You may notice that your body feels a little more present, a little less pulled in many directions at once. This is not because life has changed, but because you have stopped pushing against yourself. And when resistance softens, peace finds room. I want you to know that nothing you felt during this time was wrong. Not the doubt, not the wandering thoughts, not the moments of restlessness. All of it was welcome. Peace does not require perfect attention. It requires honesty. You did not fail when your mind drifted. You did not lose anything when you questioned the words. Even questioning can be part of healing when it is met with kindness. You are allowed to trust that what was meant to reach you has already done so. Peace does not live only in quiet moments like this one. It lives in the way you will speak to yourself later today, in the way you will pause instead of rush, in the way you will breathe when tension appears. Peace is not something you must hold on to. It is something that returns when you stop holding yourself so tightly. I want you to stop wondering whether this feeling will last. That question comes from fear, not from truth. Peace does not disappear when life becomes active. It simply becomes quieter, waiting for your attention again. You are never cut off from it. As you move back into your day, you may feel tempted to take this experience apart, to understand it, evaluate it, or measure it. Gently let that go. Understanding has already done its work. Now it is time to live. Living peacefully does not mean life becomes smooth. It means you meet what arises without turning against yourself. You no longer need to criticize yourself for feeling unsettled. You no longer need to rush to correct your emotions. You can meet them as you would meet a friend, with patience. This patience is powerful. It teaches the body that it does not need to stay alert, that it is safe to rest even while life continues. Rest is not something you earn, it is something you allow. I want you to trust that you are allowed to feel well without explanation. You do not need to justify peace. You do not need to deserve it. Peace responds to openness, not to worthiness tests. You have always been worthy. You may notice in the coming days that certain things no longer disturb you as strongly, or that when they do, you recover more quickly. This is not because you have become indifferent. It is because you have become anchored. Anchoring happens when you approve of yourself. Self-approval is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply shows up as less inner conflict. And where there is less conflict, there is more peace. I want you to know that you can return to this feeling at any time. Not by replaying these words, but by remembering the tone, the gentleness, the permission. Peace responds to tone more than to content. Speak to yourself the way you were spoken to here, slowly, kindly, without urgency, and peace will recognize the invitation. You are not responsible for maintaining this state perfectly. Peace does not ask for perfection, it asks for honesty. Honesty allows you to say, I feel tense right now, without judging that tension. And that acceptance softens it. You are learning how to stay with yourself instead of leaving when something feels uncomfortable. This is the deepest form of peace. You do not need to become someone else to live this way. You only need to stop being unkind to who you already are. Take one more gentle breath now. Let it move through you naturally. Notice how nothing is being demanded of you in this moment. This is how peace feels when it is real. It does not rush you. It does not test you. It does not ask you to prove anything. It simply stays when you do. You are safe to live from here. You are safe to feel from here. You are safe to return here again and again. Life loves you. And you are learning, quietly and faithfully, to let that love feel true. Let us linger here together without moving on too quickly. There is a tenderness in staying a moment longer, in not rushing to the next thing. Life does not ask you to hurry right now. This moment is enough, and you are enough within it. You may notice that there is a softness in your awareness now, a sense that you are not gripping yourself so tightly. This softness did not come from effort. It came from permission, from allowing yourself to stop trying to be different for a while. So often we believe we must always be improving, healing, adjusting, correcting, and yet the deepest peace arrives when we stop correcting ourselves and begin accepting ourselves. Acceptance is not giving up. It is settling in. I want you to feel how settled you are right now, even if only slightly. That slight shift matters. Peace does not need to arrive fully formed. It grows quietly, the way trust does. You are not expected to hold on to this feeling. Holding creates tension. Peace remains when you allow it to come and go naturally, like breath, like waves. You may notice thoughts returning, plans forming, concerns reappearing. This does not mean peace has left. It means life is continuing. Peace lives alongside life, not outside of it. When you stop judging your inner experience, you create room for peace to stay. I want you to understand something very important. Peace does not come from having fewer thoughts. It comes from being kinder toward the thoughts you have. When thoughts are met with patience, they lose their urgency. Urgency is what keeps the body tense. Kindness tells the body it can rest. Your body has been listening all along. It knows when it is being treated gently. It knows when it is no longer being pushed. And it responds immediately, even if subtly. This response is not imagined. It is real. You may feel a deeper breath, a softer posture, a quieter inner tone. These are signs that peace is being welcomed rather than chased. I want you to trust that you do not need to understand everything you feel in order to be at peace. Understanding is not a requirement. Presence is enough. Presence means you stay with yourself, even when something feels unclear. Especially then, you are learning how to stay. Staying with yourself does not mean fixing. It means allowing. It means saying, I am here with you, to your own heart. And the heart responds to that loyalty. Loyalty to yourself creates safety. Safety creates ease. Ease allows peace. You do not need to carry peace forward like a responsibility. Peace is not something you manage. It is something you return to when you stop managing yourself. You may forget this feeling later today. That is all right. Forgetting does not erase what has been touched. It simply gives you another opportunity to remember. Remembering does not require effort. It happens when you pause, when you breathe, when you soften your inner voice. You are allowed to pause, you are allowed to soften, you are allowed to be human without punishment. I want you to let go of the idea that peace must last forever. To be meaningful, moments of peace change you, even if they pass. They teach your body what is possible. And once the body knows peace, it recognizes it again more easily. This is how peace becomes familiar. You may notice that you feel less pressure to be someone else, less pressure to have everything figured out, less pressure to get it right. Pressure dissolves when acceptance enters. Acceptance is not resignation, it is respect. Respect for your feelings, respect for your pace, respect for your own inner life. You deserve that respect. I want you to know that you are not behind, you are not late, you are not missing something essential. Life unfolds at the pace it needs to unfold, and you are moving with it more gently now. Gentleness is not weakness, it is wisdom, learned through experience. You have learned enough struggle. Now you are learning ease. Ease does not mean life becomes quiet. It means you become quieter inside life. That quiet is always available to you. Whenever you notice tension rising, you can return not by forcing calm, but by offering kindness. Kindness is the doorway. You might say inwardly, it's all right, I'm here. These simple words are powerful. They tell the body it is not alone, and the body relaxes when it is not alone. I want you to feel the truth of this now. You do not have to earn peace. You do not have to deserve it. You do not have to justify it. Peace responds to openness, not achievement. You have already opened. As we come to the end of this time together, do not think of it as ending. Think of it as carrying a tone with you, a way of speaking inwardly, a way of pausing before reacting. That tone is peace. You do not need to hold it tightly. It will return when you need it, as long as you are willing to be gentle with yourself. And you are learning how to do that now. Take one last slow breath and let it move through you naturally. Feel how supported you are in this moment, without effort. This is enough. You are enough. Life loves you. Let us take a few more moments together without needing to move forward yet. There is a gentle wisdom in pausing before re-entering the rhythm of life. Pausing allows what has been touched to settle more deeply, not in the mind, but in the heart and body where peace truly lives. You may notice that nothing inside you is asking to be fixed right now. There may still be thoughts, there may still be feelings, but they are not demanding your attention in the same way. This is not because they are gone. It is because you are no longer meeting them with resistance. Resistance is tiring, and you have been tired for a long time. I want you to feel how it is to be with yourself without effort, without trying to manage your inner world, without asking whether you are doing this correctly. Peace does not arrive when you are watching yourself closely. It arrives when you allow yourself to relax into who you already are. You do not need to hold on to this feeling. Holding implies fear of loss. Peace is not something that leaves when you stop paying attention. Peace simply becomes quieter, waiting patiently for you to notice again. You are allowed to forget. You are allowed to drift. You are allowed to return. Returning is always gentle. I want you to know that what you have experienced here is not separate from your everyday life. Peace is not reserved for quiet moments alone. It moves with you when you speak kindly to yourself, when you pause instead of rush, when you allow yourself to feel without judgment. These small acts are not small. They change the tone of your entire inner world. You may notice that your body feels heavier now, not weighed down, but grounded. This is the feeling of coming home to yourself. The body recognizes safety before the mind does. It knows when it is no longer being pushed. Your body has carried you through every experience you have ever had. It has adapted, protected, and endured. Now it is learning that it does not have to stay alert all the time. Alertness was learned. Safety can be learned too. You are teaching your system something new simply by being kind. I want you to stop expecting peace to look a certain way. Peace may feel like stillness, or like acceptance, or like quiet relief. Sometimes peace feels like nothing dramatic at all, just the absence of struggle, and that absence is powerful. Struggle convinces you that life is against you. Peace reminds you that life is responding to how you treat yourself. When you stop being harsh, life softens. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means you no longer add self-criticism to every challenge. And without that added weight, things become more manageable. You are learning how to stay with yourself when something feels uncomfortable. You no longer need to escape inwardly. You no longer need to correct yourself immediately. You can breathe and wait. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is trust. Trust that you do not need to solve everything in this moment. Trust that you are capable of meeting what comes. Trust that peace does not require perfection. I want you to feel how deeply supported you are right now, not by outside circumstances, but by your own willingness to be gentle. This willingness is the doorway through which peace enters again and again. You are not required to keep this feeling alive. Peace does not die easily. It fades only when it is replaced by self-judgment. And even then, it is never gone. It waits. I want you to remember that peace is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of self-love. When you love yourself enough to stay, peace naturally follows. You may notice in the days ahead that you catch yourself before reacting. that you breathe before speaking, that you soften instead of tightening. These are not things you must praise or analyze. They are signs that peace is living in you now. Peace does not announce itself. It simply changes how you move. You do not need to protect your peace from the world. Peace is not fragile. It grows stronger each time you choose kindness over criticism. And when you forget, as everyone does, there is no punishment. Forgetting is part of being human. Remembering is part of healing. You can always return. I want you to end this time not with effort, but with appreciation. Appreciation for yourself, for your openness, for your willingness to listen instead of push. You have done something very loving for yourself. And that love will continue to express itself quietly, long after the words end. Take one more slow breath now. Let it move through you naturally. Feel how nothing is being asked of you. This is peace as it truly is not something you achieve, but something you allow. You are safe to live from here. You are safe to feel from here. You are safe to be yourself. Life loves you. Let us stay with this softness just a little longer. There is no need to rush back into doing, deciding, or becoming. This moment does not require your effort. It only asks for your presence, and even that can be gentle. You may notice that your body feels more at ease now. Not perfectly relaxed, perhaps, but less guarded, less prepared for something to go wrong. This is not an accident. This is your system responding to kindness. The body always knows when it is being treated with care. For a long time, you may have believed that staying alert was necessary, that you had to watch yourself closely, manage your reactions, keep your thoughts in order, and now you are discovering that nothing falls apart when you stop holding yourself so tightly. In fact, things begin to come together. Peace does not arrive because you controlled your inner world well enough. Peace arrives because you stopped fighting it. You allowed things to be as they are, without deciding they should be different before you were allowed to feel okay. That allowance is powerful. I want you to notice that nothing has been taken from you in this moment. You have not lost your awareness, your care, or your depth. You have only released strain. And strain was never who you were. What remains is you clearer, kinder, and more present. You may feel tempted to mark this moment, to remember it precisely, to hold on to it so it does not slip away. Gently let that impulse soften. Peace does not need to be captured. It returns when invited. Invitation is always quieter than effort. As you move back into your day, peace will not demand that you stay calm. It will not insist that you feel good. Peace simply asks that you stay connected to yourself when something feels uncomfortable. Connection is what keeps peace alive. When you feel tension rise again, and it will, at times, remember that tension is not failure. Tension is a signal asking for kindness. When you respond with patience instead of judgment, peace recognizes the opening. You are learning how to respond differently now. You may notice that your inner voice sounds less severe, that it allows pauses, that it no longer rushes you toward conclusions. This voice did not need to be trained. It needed permission to soften. Softening does not make you vulnerable in a dangerous way. It makes you receptive. And receptivity allows life to support you more easily. You do not need to protect yourself from life by staying tense. Tension is not protection. Awareness and self-love are. I want you to trust that peace does not leave when you are distracted. It does not disappear when you are busy. It waits quietly, like a familiar room you can return to whenever you choose. You are never locked out. You may also notice that you are less interested in judging yourself now, less interested in measuring your progress or comparing your experience to others. Judgment creates distance. Acceptance creates closeness. Closeness to yourself is the foundation of peace. I want you to stop asking whether you deserve this ease. Peace does not respond to deserving, it responds to willingness. And you have been willing. Willing to listen, willing to pause, willing to be kind. That is enough. You are not required to live in a constant state of calm. Peace does not demand consistency. It grows through honesty. Honest moments of softness matter more than long periods of forced calm. Every time you choose not to abandon yourself, peace deepens. I want you to feel how supported you are right now, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer standing against yourself. Support begins inside. From this place, life feels different. Not easier in every way, but friendlier. Less like something you must endure, and more like something you are participating in. You are allowed to participate gently. As this time draws to a close, do not think of it as ending. Think of it as changing form. What you have felt here will continue to express itself in small, quiet ways, ways that do not call attention to themselves. A breath taken before reacting. A pause chosen instead of pressure. A kind word spoken inwardly. These are not small changes. They are signs that peace has been welcomed. You do not need to remember anything exactly. You only need to remember how kindness feels in your body. That memory lives deeper than thought. Take one more gentle breath now and allow your body to receive it fully. Notice how nothing is being asked of you in this moment. This is peace as it truly is. You are safe to move forward. You are safe to feel what you feel. You are safe to be yourself. Life loves you.